Hey everyone. So this morning I wake up and a couple of things newsworthy came out. One of them, of course, was something that a lot of fans, gaming fans, Nintendo fans, gaming fans overall have been waiting for. And that was the reveal of the Nintendo Switch 2. Now I'm not going to show the trailer or anything because knowing my luck, I might get copyrighted and all that, and it might be one of those copyrights that not as it's not just claimed but is struck, and I don't need to take that chance with Nintendo. I'm kind of surprised Angry Joe's not struck yet or claimed yet. I've got a feeling he might be, because you'll know when you're claimed because when you go on your TV and you bring up the information, you look across, you see the title of it, you see the runtime of the video, and then you see like all the little icons, like the channel icon, the shop icon, and all that, the likes and all that, little icons. And right in between there, right towards the end, right next to the settings, actually, I think right next to the settings icon, you will see the heart icon, the super thanks icon, which you can donate money with, to the creator. That's still there, but I got a feeling it might not be there long, because Nintendo might just say, hey, let's get this guy and claim him, not take his video down, but claim him and all that. If not, maybe strike him. But I think mostly a claim's going to occur with Joe. Not saying it will. He might be fortunate enough not for that to happen. And I think a lot of change has happened enough to where Nintendo and to where YouTube has kind of talked with Nintendo and said, hey, you can't claim a video just because somebody's talking about your product if that person talking about it is in that video. So you can't claim it because you'd be claiming them, if you know what I mean. But anyway, I wanted to come on here and talk about the Nintendo Switch 2, mainly because, of course, I have my Switch here. I've had this since almost the system came out. I think I got it about basically the same year and everything. It came out, and I know where I got it. I got it at Walmart because I was working at Walmart at that time. So that's when I got the Switch. And I've played it ever since. And they still have games coming out for it even to this day, which is pretty cool. In fact, one of the more recent games in the past year, of course, was Super Mario Wonder and Mario Strikers Battle League, I believe. Those are some of the new ones, and you had the Kirby game and all that. So you still got games coming out for it, even as we speak. But the reason I bring this up is because one of the main things they focused on in the trailer was, how bigger everything was going to be. Now we know that when Nintendo Switch brought out the OLED, they kind of increased the size of the screen a little bit, but not too much. I think they increased it by an inch or two, if you will. This is apparently the 6-inch screen, and what they've done with the Switch 2 is increased it to 10-inch. Basically made it a full-on tablet size. But when it comes to this, but when it comes to this one, I should say, all they did initially was a 6-inch screen, and I think with the OLED they went up by an inch and a half on the screen size, and that's about it, and gave it OLED technology, basically making it more resembling what you would get with, let's say, 1440p and all that. But that wasn't the only selling point about it. The other selling point is the bottom here, right here. Basically, mostly everything was the same, except they added some features. Now, below here, basically, as I can turn this on here, below here, you see there's no USB port, right? Well, that's what they've added. They've added it, I think, to one of these sides. I think they added one to the bottom. I think it's on one of these sides. They've added it to. And then on the top here, of course, they had everything as well. But they also added in a USB port right about here, right about in this area, right next to where the games will be inserted. So when you insert the games and all that, you'll be inserting them here. And what they did as well is they also moved this to the side as well. They moved the headphone jack as well. Now I know some people like Argo and Mad Little Pixel and all of them were talking about, oh, there's a wired headphone jack, with the Switch 2. They've had that already. They've had that with the Switch. They had that with the Switch initially, and I think even they had it with the Wii U screen. Correct me if I'm wrong. I have to go back and look at my Wii U. But they had it with the original Switch in the first place, and even with the Switch Lite and the OLED Switch as well. They've had a headphone jack. So I don't know if maybe they forgot that there was one already on the Switch, or maybe they're just surprised that they're continuing with having a headphone jack, wired headphone jack, I should say, for the Switch. Now, of course, you could probably do Bluetooth headphones with this as well, which is cool. So, I guess you'll have an option in that case. But yeah, they've added a little bit more up here, like the USB, if you will, and then of course right next to it you would have the place where you put the games, and then where you would put headphones and everything. And of course they would have the USB there as well, kind of counter to where it would be like down here. So you're gonna have like 2 USB ports on your Switch to go along with the 2 USB ports that obviously you're still going to retain on the dock, which by the way, they've rounded out the dock. The dock has been rounded out and everything. Basically, as some people put it, they made it look a little bit more modernized, more futuristic, modernized, if you will, with the rounding. So the dock itself is even rounded out. And again, I think you're still going to retain. They didn't show much on the docks. I'll probably do that on the April 2nd reveal. But, basically, I'm assuming you're going to retain the USB ports on the dock, on the side of the dock, maybe with an additional USB port, as well as you're going to have the USB ports on the top and the bottom, on the bottom and on the top of the Switch. You're going to have those USB ports. And that would give you a total of 4 USB ports and everything. Now, the other question that a lot of people are hoping for is, are you going to be able to have video out? Like, are you going to have an HDMI option down here, if you will? I didn't see one. I didn't see an HDMI option down here during the reveal trailer and all that. I didn't see that, but maybe they're saving that for, April 2nd, and then we'll get that announcement. The other thing they did talk about is the Joy-Cons and everything, and basically how the Joy-Cons are now not just bigger and everything in presentation, a little bit more rounder, and there's basically no more drift and all that, because you can see with this here, it's like you don't have much movement, but now with the bigger Joy-Cons and the bigger joysticks on them, you got a little bit more movement and less drift, as some people put it. So it looks like they fixed that option. And then they also added a little something right here. I don't know what the name of it is, but basically it's like a sensor that's going to allow you to use this as a mouse, and they demonstrated that as well during the presentation. They also showcased that this is bigger as well, and that the difference now too is you're going to have a little magnetic connection here, like a little magnetic chip, to where instead of like sliding it like this, if you will, instead you're just going to be able to put it in like that magnetically, and it should connect overall. And then they showed the same here with the showed the same here with the controller, with the joypad controller, if you will. And I think the same is going to be applying to that, where it's going to have little magnetic chips on there, to where you could just snap these on and all that. And they even showed that you can have one of the Joy-Cons loose a little bit when you're playing this as well. But overall I kind of like what we got here, and I can't wait to I kind of like what we got here in the presentation, I should say. I'm kind of running over. I'm doing this in 4K, so I'm probably going to run over a little bit, so I do apologize. I'm going to probably have to split. It's going to probably be split in 2, so I'm going to have to edit it together, the movie. But like I said, I do enjoy what they did present here. The stand, of course, we got the small stand and everything. The stand's going to be all across around and everything, so that's kind of nice to have, to kind of see that they're going to do that. It's going to be all around. And then this time, instead of just like going back like that and just being like leaning, it's going to be able to lean a lot more. So let's say you're laying on your bed and everything, and you want to play the Switch, you're going to be able to have a lot more angles, to a lot more deeper angle, I should say, to play it on than just what you have with this one, and I'm sure with the OLED and the Lite as well. But overall, I like it. I do like what they've presented. Again, it's just basically, if you want to look at it from a simplified standpoint, it's basically an upgraded Nintendo Switch. Just everything has been upgraded, to make it better. They're going to be using the Navita chips technology. So that's going to make the graphics look a little bit better and everything. People have said, like Metal Jesus Rocks has even said that people have talked about that it looks better than that it's going to be performing better than a Steam Deck, which obviously is good news to a lot of people that have Steam Decks. But overall, I think, outside of that, this has the potential to be a bestseller this year. Now, I know some people are worried, that, hey, that like with the with the additional magnetic switches and all that those could, not magnetic switches, but the magnetic chips, where you just go like that's going to be a bit of a problem. And I don't disagree with them on that. I don't disagree with them that it could be a problem, especially if you have little ones running around. I don't disagree that would not be a problem. But if I'm the parents and everything that are going to buy that Switch 2, I make sure that I have that Switch 2 where I could see it, where I could keep an eye on it and everything. So that way, if my kids, my little ones, want to play it, I can be there to supervise them and be like, okay, let me make sure, you got things connected, nothing, things are connected, or, let me get the Joy-Con out for you, and da-da-da, and so on, and, so on and so forth. So, I got a feeling anybody that would buy the Switch 2 is going to, especially if they're a parent, or a grandparent, or an uncle and aunt, they're going to have that Switch 2 in the living room, if not in the game room. And when kids come over and want to play it, especially little ones, they're going to want to make sure, I guarantee they're going to want to have supervision in that room when it happens, if you will. So that if there's any damage, well, yeah, they could be there, they could be there to assess it, if you will. But again, I like what they're doing here. I mean, I like the fact that we're going to keep the wired headphone jack. I like that we're getting additional USB ports on the Switch itself. Again, don't know about video out yet, HDMI video out for like when you're on the road in a hotel and you want to play this on a bigger screen. I don't know about that yet. I'm assuming they might, like I said, they might present that part to us during the reveal on April 2nd. And I think that's when we'll get a release date for the system as well. Because the only game they showed was the new Mario Kart game that's going to be coming for it, but I think it's going to be coming for both Switch and Switch 2. That's the only reason I think they would show it. But I don't think we're going to get the Switch 2 at least until the holidays. They're only showing us what it looks like right now, and I'm assuming that on April 2nd we're going to get a release date reveal, which could be maybe late summer at the earliest, but more probable being the holidays, so they could sell this for Christmas and all that as well. And believe me, I do plan to get one of these when it comes out. I do plan to get one of them, that being the Switch 2. Now, the other interesting aspect as well that they talked about when it comes to the Switch 2, is that the games that are on the Switch, the digital ones, most of them, they're saying that you'll be able to play both physical and digital games of the Nintendo Switch, on the Nintendo Switch 2, basically saying it's backwards compatible. But they also said an asterisk at the end that some games will not be compatible. That being both, I don't know if that's both being physical and digital for Nintendo Switch, as far as I know. I think that's what they mean. That some Nintendo Switch games will not be compatible, both physical and digital. And I'm guessing that's because of that technology they're using, the Navita technology that they're using as well. So in other words, what they're saying is this could possibly not be compatible, but I think it will be, because at the end, when they noted that some games may or may not be compatible, physically and digitally, they were showing this as a game that was going into the slot. So I'm guessing what they're saying is a game like Super Mario Wonder will be compatible, but what they're also saying, from what I'm getting, from what I'm understanding, is that games like maybe Odyssey, Super Mario Odyssey, if you will, Super Mario Odyssey, and the Wheel of Fortune Jeopardy hybrid game may not be, or 2 game in 1 cart may not be compatible. That's what they're saying. Like, these 2 may not be compatible, but Wonder and maybe Battle League and Super Mario not Super, but Sonic Mania might be. That's what I'm getting at. That's the feeling I'm getting here. That some may or may not. That Wonder could be compatible, but Odyssey, which was one of the first Switch games, may not be because of the technology. But hopefully they do update that, and that, and during the I'm trying to find the right word to say here. And that during the lifespan, almost had a brain fart there, and during the lifespan of the Switch 2, they, like I say, they update that so that all Switch games will be compatible with the Switch 2. But right now they're saying not all of them will be. And again, that's an issue I think they're going to hopefully work on during the first year run of the Switch 2, so that way everything is compatible and all that with the Switch 2. But overall, I like what they presented to us. And April 2nd, Nintendo Direct, I think that's going to be more of a hands-on demonstration of what the Switch 2 can do. And that's when I think we'll get a release date for either late summer at the earliest, but more probably being around holiday 2025, Christmas 2025 for its release. But let me know what your guys' thoughts are. How do you feel about the Switch 2? The reveal and everything. What did you think about it? What are you looking forward to the most? What issues do you think they need to look into with the Switch 2 before its release? And what issues do you think they need to update after the Switch is released to really make it a fan favorite? And do you think maybe we might be facing similar issues with it, as with the Wii U? Do you think that might be a concern with people, that we might be going down the same path with the Switch 2 as we did with the Wii U, and having similar issues and all that in that department? Let me know. I'd love to hear what you guys have to say on this. And until next time, guys, you know where to find me. Links are in the description and everything. Click on the links in the description at all your favorite audio and video podcast affiliates to find me there. Click on rumble.com. Go to rumble.com/bwroses, odyssey.com, bwroses, VENMO.com, bwroses, inkbunny.net, bwroses, deviantart.com at bvw1979. Click on the Teespring store as well, guys. Check out all my merchandise there that you can purchase. Also find me at twitter.com at bwroses and Blue Sky. But guys, give me your thoughts. Let me know how you feel about this overall. What are your thoughts? And until next time, I will talk to you later, but let me know what you're looking forward to and what you're concerned about, mostly with the Nintendo Switch 2.